Hi everyone, Joe Vitale, American Retirement Advisors of the Gradient Investments weekly talking points for the week ending June 18th, 2021. Let's talk about stocks. The major U.S. stock market indices were down last week, with the S&P 500 down 1.87%. The Russell 2000 lost about 4.17%, and the NASDAQ was down 0.26%. Now, overseas indices also declined, with the international developed markets, which is the EFA, and the emerging markets dropping 2.4% and 1.44% respectively. Now, technology was the sole sector to rise in the U.S., while the cyclical sectors were the major decliners. Now, today we did see a nice rebound of over 580 points for the Dow, as something the market kind of overreacted to the Fed's news last week, which we're going to talk about, and we'll see how the week holds moving forward. But plus, some of you probably looked at the accounts, and I was notified that we saw a little decline in some accounts, especially on our tactical rotation. That's part of the course. Remember, we're long-term investors. We're going to see some volatility. We're going to see a bunch of volatility right now with everything, with the oil prices and with the opening. And we've been seeing a lot of growth, but we're still going to see a little bit. So just hold tight. I think, we're going to be okay in the long term. And here we go. Fixed income. Federal Reserve projected midweek that interest rates would rise from the record low levels a year earlier than their prior forecast because the economy and employment are growing faster than their expectations. Now, this represents the Fed's best estimate, not their goal. The yield on a 2-year Treasury rose 10 basis points, and the yield on a 10-year Treasury declined 2 basis points, and 20-year interest rates dropped 11 basis points, creating a flatter yield curve. Commodities, the price of gold fell last week following the Fed's announcement that the U.S. dollar gained strength against foreign currencies. So gold is priced in dollars and became more expensive for foreign investors. It closed at $1,776 per troy ounce, which is down 5.8% for the week. Industrial metal prices fell even more after China announced it would release copper, aluminum, zinc, and other material supplies from their government's strategic reserves in an effort to drive key input prices down. We also heard that we're also starting to hear that's coming down in price, and also lumber's coming down in price as well. So hopefully we should see that in the retail. Speaking of retail sales for May disappointed with 1.3% month-over-month decline for the sales of goods and services, compared with consensus expectations for a 0.6% decline. However, the April numbers were revised upward from change to a positive 0.9 on a month-over-month basis. On a year-over-year basis, sales were up 28%, and clothing and accessories were the strongest category with a 200% increase. Now, the U.S. industrial production rose 0.8% in May from the prior month, or 16.3% on a year-over-year basis, ahead of expectations. However, the April gain of 0.5% was revised down to 0.1%, making the monthly comparison easier. The producer inflation index was higher than expected, as core rate of 4.8% accelerated from the prior record high of 4.1% in April and 3.1% in March. Now, this data point served to increase expectations for overall U.S. inflation, and we are seeing some inflation scares out there, which is kind of why the Fed, everybody's seeing how they're going to react, because we are starting to see inflation. People think it's transitory, maybe it's not transitory. However, there is a concern, and we have to be conscientious of that. Company news: software technology stocks, including G33 Holdings, DocuSign, ServiceNow Inc., Splunk Inc., Sprout Social Inc., Square Inc., and Verona Systems outperformed the rest of the markets last week as investors turned away from more cyclical names toward these sectors. These names rose between 6.7% and 14% last week. So very strong week on the growth category on the tech side. So that's it. We hope you're all doing well, enjoying the nice weather. We're very thankful for you. We finally got a little rain, didn't we? And so we'll see how that goes this week. Very thankful to have you part of our family, and God bless you. Of course, if you need anything, give us a call at 855-756-5700 or online at www. We don't need that anymore. aradvisorsinc.com. And we'll see you next week.